Hey, welcome back. I wanted to use this opportunity to share a little bit about pranayama and how to approach pranayama, how to weave this aspect, this really essential aspect of our yoga sadhana into our daily life, and also some of the finer, subtler details that I think are important to pay attention to when we're doing pranayama. So let's just jump in. And the first thing I'll share, I'd like to start by saying that pranayama is not breath work. And a lot of people conflate pranayama and breath work. And understandably, the connection between the breath and the prana is really, there's a clear relationship between breath and prana, or breath and life force energy, we could say. But to understand really the deeper benefits and the purpose of pranayama, we have to look at, well, what is happening when we are breathing, and what are the key principles when it comes to the yogic process that we want to look at to deepen our experience with pranayama, but also deepen the benefits that we can get from pranayama. Some of the key pieces of the puzzle: Bandha and Mudra. And these are two very important concepts that come from Hatha Yoga, and they relate to the way that energy can be contained inside of us. A lot of times during, like, I'll use air quotes, right, breathwork practices, if there's not an understanding over the way that the body actually can contain and channel the energy that's coming in, a lot of that energy that's coming in can go, it's like, think of like flooding a system, or a good analogy would be when a storm happens and there's just an abundance of water that pours down. I'm here in Costa Rica and we're entering rainy season, and so rain is just coming down everywhere. And if the channels aren't carved out to direct where that water goes, it floods the ground, it causes damage, it causes all sorts of problems. And it's the same thing with breath. And so if we don't have the right channel established for the prana to flow and circulate, then we can just put a bunch of, like, it's like a storm coming in, a bunch of energy or a bunch of rain just comes down into our system through the practices of breathwork. And the aspect that we're talking about with Bandha and Mudra are like creating the channels for that energy to flow in the right places. And so that's one thing that's really important to look at. And there's other videos that I've created around Bandha, and so I'll defer to those. But just looking at that principle is important for understanding how to apply our breathing practices and transform them into pranayama. The aspect of mudra, so we talk about mudra, and the most common, mudra we see is like gyan mudra. Like this is a mudra. But it's also important to realize that the body itself is a mudra, and the position that we put our body in is a mudra. And so what is a mudra? A mudra means seal. Sometimes you'll hear people call it a gesture. And it's like the mudra itself is a container or a circuit for the energy. And so, the simplest example is if I go like this, right? The sense information that's traveling out of my fingertip, that's probing the world, right? Like the tip of my finger has sensation on it. And so there's energy being sent out through my fingertip to perceive the world. And when I take that and I close that loop, that energy is no longer going out and escaping, but is coming back in and feeding back into the system. So that's the simplest example. But think about when I create the right posture, right? The right asana, and not just any asana, but the right one for you or for whoever it is that is doing the activity of pranayama. There's a reason why the classic yogic postures exist and are really key to this. And so one of the classic yogic postures is, of course, Padmasana, the lotus position. And when we cross our legs like that, and there's pressure points between the heel and the lower abdomen, this creates a seal, a container, and a circuit where the energy can be funneled back into itself. Right? You follow me on that? And so that's very important. The way we set up to prepare for pranayama is really essential to getting the most out of our practice, receiving the most benefits, and really increasing our desire to deepen into it. And so I just want to make this short video to inspire your home practice and your deepening into these tools of inner alchemy, I call them, as the art of the cultivation of light. That is the process of Tantrik Hatha Yoga, to bring more light into our system, to flood our system with this abundant life force that's all around us, and to learn how to generate it internally. Not only generate it, but also to contain it and to circulate it so that that light feeds into all the systems of our body and creates healing and transformation. So that's all I wanted to share. I hope you guys find this helpful and supportive to your practice, and I look forward to seeing you for more soon.